the ongoing media scrutiny of Meghan Markle, particularly highlighted by recent discussions on GB News, showcases a deep-seated hypocrisy in how the UK media handles her and Prince Harry. Outlets like GB News deny bullying claims, yet Meghan's allies have pointed out years of relentless criticism, which was especially evident after their departure as working royals in 2020. The Daily Mail's statement that it would show no mercy to the couple revealed an openly vindictive attitude that contradicts their later denial of any media-fueled mistreatment. What makes this situation more concerning is how media figures who engage in this persistent criticism refuse to acknowledge the role they played in exacerbating the negative public sentiment toward the couple. The British press has been widely documented as being hostile to Meghan since the beginning of her relationship with Harry, often employing dog whistle tactics and amplifying every rumour. This criticism intensified after their decision to step back from royal duties, with coverage becoming overtly antagonistic. The Daily Mail's 2020 article is a clear example, stating their intention to show no mercy for this decision. This was no subtle form of critique, but an outright declaration of hostility. In a disturbing turn, these same outlets now act as though they've been unjustly accused of bullying. Figures like Dan Wootton, who have long led the charge in attacking Meghan, portray themselves as victims of backlash while continuing to publish damning articles about the couple. Their defence often frames their criticism as being about accountability and truth-telling, yet it's impossible to ignore the personal and racially charged nature of much of the reporting, especially about Meghan. These journalists claim to represent public interest, yet their tactics seem driven more by personal vendettas and the need to maintain clicks and revenue at the couple's expense. The media's behaviour has been both brazen and hypocritical. They actively campaigned to turn public sentiment against Meghan and Harry, playing into existing prejudices and stoking division within the royal family. Yet, when challenged, they paint themselves as unbiased commentators. This contradiction is a hallmark of their strategy, one where they whip up a frenzy, then play innocent when called out. It reveals not just a lack of accountability, but a willful and sustained campaign of personal attacks that seem designed to cause emotional and reputational damage. The public's awareness of this manipulation is slowly growing as more people recognise the extent of the media's role in fueling toxic narratives. Nevertheless, the hypocrisy remains as these outlets continue to gaslight their audience, pretending to be the voice of reason while acting as architects of relentless bullying. This is a clear case of cruelty disguised as journalism, and it casts a dark shadow over the integrity of the British press, which shows no signs of changing course. The story today of King Charles advertising for a housekeeper at Windsor Castle, offering a salary that is below minimum wage, is a timely reminder. In Spare, Prince Harry's explosive memoir, a particularly eyebrow-raising moment comes when he reveals a conversation with his father, then Prince Charles, where Charles claimed he couldn't afford to pay Meghan Markle, despite her soon-to-be royal role. The irony of this statement can hardly be overstated. Charles, now King Charles III, is one of the wealthiest individuals in the world, commanding vast estates, inheritance, and an ever-growing portfolio of financial interests, much of which comes directly from British taxpayers through the sovereign grant and other royal funds. Yet, in that pivotal conversation, Charles suggested that bringing Meghan into the fold of the royal family, with her requisite security and royal duties, would be a financial stretch. Harry described how he had approached his father, explaining that Meghan was about to give up her successful acting career to become a working royal. He asked whether financial support would be extended to cover Meghan's new royal responsibilities. But Charles reportedly responded, "I'm already having to pay for your brother and Catherine." This was followed by an insinuation that resources were being stretched thin, a claim that seems particularly disingenuous when considering the vast fortunes controlled by the monarchy. The notion that the future King of England couldn't afford to support Meghan Markle stands in stark contrast to the lavish expenditures that were simultaneously being poured into royal life. The British royal family, and Charles in particular, have historically led a life that is nothing short of opulent, funded by a combination of public and private wealth. The sovereign grant alone, funded by UK taxpayers, provides tens of millions of pounds annually to support the monarchy's official duties, with Charles overseeing a sprawling network of estates, properties and businesses under the Duchy of Cornwall, which generated substantial income during his time as Prince of Wales. Fast forward to today, and a story has surfaced that underscores the ongoing contradictions within the royal household. King Charles is currently advertising for a housekeeper at Windsor Castle, offering a salary that is shockingly below minimum wage. The role, advertised as part-time with live-in benefits, offers an annual salary of £10,000 for a 20-hour work week. This amount, when broken down, barely scrapes minimum wage for live-out workers, even before considering the real cost of living around Windsor. This revelation comes at a time when King Charles continues to maintain an enormous staff to tend to every minute detail of royal life. It was recently revealed that the King employs over 120 staff members, including 3 footmen dedicated to escorting visitors down different segments of corridor in his residence, 4 valets tasked with helping him change outfits up to 5 times a day, a specialised team of gardeners, some of whom lie flat, nose to the ground, to hand-pluck weeds due to Charles's dislike for chemical pesticides. Retired Indian servicemen are deployed to hand-pick slugs from plants at night, ensuring his gardens remain pristine. Such extravagance speaks volumes about the royal household's priorities when it comes to managing wealth and labour. On the one hand, you have a monarch who spends lavishly to uphold traditions of grandeur, but on the other offers sub-minimum wage jobs to those who maintain the palaces that symbolise that wealth. The contrast is staggering, especially in light of Charles's earlier claim that supporting Meghan Markle financially was beyond his means. This isn't just about Charles's personal fortune, which is estimated to be in the billions, or the Duchy of Cornwall's massive income. The royal family benefits significantly from public money, with the UK taxpayer footing the bill for royal engagements, security and the maintenance of palatial estates. The sovereign grant, funded by the Crown Estate's profits, ensures that the monarchy's lifestyle remains luxurious, while many in the UK struggle to make ends meet, especially amid cost of living crises and inflation. The royal family is embedded in a system where wealth and privilege are maintained at the expense of the average taxpayer. It's striking, then, that when Meghan Markle, who had her own successful career and was fully capable of financially supporting herself, entered this institution, the prospect of offering her financial support was met with resistance. Meghan, who was set to lose her primary source of income from acting, was expected to perform royal duties without the same financial security that other royals received. The contrast between King Charles's extravagant personal expenditures and the treatment of workers and family members alike highlights a broader hypocrisy that exists within the institution of the monarchy. While Meghan was told there wasn't enough money to support her, Charles enjoys an extensive staff dedicated to the most trivial of tasks, from outfit changes to hand-picking garden slugs in the dead of night. The story of King Charles advertising a job at below minimum wage is a poignant reminder of the vast gap between the monarchy's wealth and the everyday people who contribute to its upkeep. The British public continues to financially support the monarchy, yet when it comes to offering fair wages to workers or supporting family members transitioning into royal life, the purse strings suddenly tighten. The incident with Meghan and the ongoing treatment of royal household staff are 2 sides of the same coin, reflecting a system that prioritises pomp and ceremony over fairness and equality. As King Charles settles into his reign, the public might increasingly question how much longer this glaring disparity can go on unnoticed. How can a monarch who employs footmen for hallway duties claim to be financially stretched? And, more importantly, How can the institution continue to justify its immense privilege when it fails to provide even a living wage for those who serve its castles, or financial security for its own family members? These are questions that reflect a growing sentiment that the opulence of royalty may be increasingly out of step with the realities of modern Britain.